The Devil's Rejects is one of the most twisted films of the 2000s and perhaps of all time. This movie is a wild ride and showed Rob Zombie was not messing around when he became a director. With this second film, he shook up the horror genre in a raw, unflinching and truly messed up way. Picking up after the events of his first film, 2005's House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Rejects once again follows the insane Firefly family. Captain Spaulding, played by Sid Haig, Otis Driftwood, played by Bill Hader, and Baby, played by Sheri Moon Zombie, who are now on the run from the determined Sheriff Wydell, played by William Forsythe, who seeks to bring them to justice for their terrible atrocities. Straight away, the film is uncompromising and grim, and it takes things a step further than House of a Thousand Corpses. That film had some haunted house campiness to it. It was odd and fun despite being messed up. But The Devil's Rejects just says forget that, it's time to go hardcore. This is pure, raw, grindhouse, horrible nihilism. There is of course some black comedy, but even the humour is far nastier than the first one. It's as if Rob Zombie thought, well, people appreciated the crazy elements of House of a Thousand Corpses, so with the second one, I'm just going to ramp it up to 11 and go further than the audience ever imagined. And he really does go there. I forgot how troubling this movie is at times. Watching it this time around, I was sat there in moments thinking, what the hell is this? And I have a strong stomach. I've seen loads of brutal movies, but this one did get to me, I have to be honest. But the brilliance of Rob Zombie is that even though you're struggling, you don't want to turn it off. You're strangely interested because it's so horribly entertaining. Rob Zombie steps up his direction in this film. He's clearly a lot more confident this time around. His unique style combines gritty realism with a retro aesthetic. The use of natural lighting and handheld camera work immerses us in the chaotic world of the Firefly family. The first film felt quite music video and sometimes a bit amateurish, but The Devil's Rejects feels a lot more like a realised vision, and Zombie has fully settled into the earthy, unsettling, visceral nature of it all. The film is full of memorable scenes that push boundaries, such as the one where Otis kills two prisoners who try to escape. Bill Hader is just so convincing and horrible, and the actor is having a ball with the dialogue. The scene ends with him uttering the terrifying words that Rob Zombie took from the Manson family in real life.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
The fact Zombie included that chilling phrase shows he was trying to tap into the Manson family angle, and that's very disturbing in and of itself. This is his version of the Manson family. How messed up is that? There's also the moment where Otis is torturing a husband, wife and their children. The scene is incredibly uncomfortable, but Zombie knows exactly what he's doing. He nails the unpleasant atmosphere so well that you just can't turn away despite the vile acts on screen. The scene ends with Baby throwing a knife at the poor woman after she tries to escape, and you're left wincing as she tries to pull it out. You honestly feel so sorry for the victims in this film. The actors convey their sadness and desperation so well, and obviously Bill Hader's Otis is quite literally mocking them and not letting up for a moment, and it means your heart goes out to them. Otis returns wearing the father's face as a mask, which is beyond messed up. But it doesn't stop there. In the next scene, the daughter is discovered by the maid with that exact mask on her because of these monsters, and I would place it up there with any brutal, uncomfortable horror scene in history, to be honest. Zombie really captured a horrific, nightmarish, but also tragic atmosphere. Just imagine chasing a maid begging for help as you have one of your family members' faces on. That is horrific. You are the innocent victim, but you have been turned into a terrifying monstrosity, and it's your own family member. That is insane. The movie harkens back to the gritty and nasty films of the late 60s and 70s, where the characters could be very bad people, and the line between good and evil was blurred. When they included monstrous characters that evoked both fear and sympathy, those films had no rules and challenged the viewer to question their own morality. And Rob Zombie was clearly obsessed with those movies, and let's be honest, our fascination with villains still rages on to this day. Suicide Squad, for example, but how about characters like the Joker? We're still making films about him after so many years. People love being able to examine evil through a lens where we are kind of on board for a few hours. We don't condone what the character is doing, but the movie world allows us to completely step outside of ourselves and what we know and understand about life and morality and good and evil and everything. It almost irritates you how loyal the Firefly family are to each other. It would be so much easier for us as the viewers if they were just represented reprehensible to each other too. Then we wouldn't have to confront the uncomfortable truth that there is some kind of humanity in these characters. The Firefly family's bond is unbreakable, and it's a twisted version of love and loyalty. Being both chilling and captivating, the performances are a big part of this theme, allowing us to feel a strange connection to these deeply flawed individuals. William Forsythe is fantastic as Sheriff John Quincy. It's a fascinating idea that the longer the film goes on, the more the sheriff becomes more like the family he's chasing. The sheriff is clearly asking himself, since the family are so morally bankrupt and literally don't care, how do I possibly administer justice? Realising the regular method of the law doesn't work on these people, Quincy allows himself to step into the depths of depravity that these people are knee deep in. He forgoes his own morality to try to outdo the family with his revenge. He becomes a brutal individual toward them, and it's quite tragic to watch this man of the law just try and force these people to feel an ounce of pain that they made him feel.
Are you feeling it, brother?
It's like the idea of if you could get hold of someone who committed an atrocity towards you, but they didn't care. How could you possibly get revenge if nothing affects them? And you'd end up just going insane yourself trying to make these people feel something, and that's the theme here with the sheriff in the film. He's just obsessed with managing to get through to these people what they did to others, and it's just never going to happen. So it's just a real cycle of horror and bad feelings throughout this whole film. And it's crazy that even the good guy in this film, however he arrives at it, is a sick individual too. Bill Hader is incredibly disturbing and just chews the scenery all the way through as Otis. His dismissal of decency and compassion in this jokey, sarcastic way is just so entertaining to watch. I hate to say it, but it is. Sid Haig is way more sadistic in this one as Captain Spaulding. He was more laugh out loud and wild and over the top in House of a Thousand Corpses, but in this one there are some real uncomfortable moments. That scene where he torments a young child after stealing his mum's car is dark and despicable, and one of the moments in this film I actually think maybe went too far.
You best come up with an answer, because I'm going to come back here and check on you and your mama. If you ain't got a reason why you hate clowns, I'm going to kill your whole fucking family.
That child is done for life now. There's no coming back from that experience. Mental. Sheri Moon Zombie is actually a lot less annoying as Baby. She drove me crazy in House of a Thousand Corpses. I think she reels it in here as much as she's able to, and the character is a bit more interesting and nuanced. We see a lot more genuine emotion from her, so I could tolerate Baby a bit more this time round. Don't get me wrong though, it's Sheri Moon Zombie, she can still be a little bit annoying. Why do you always cast your wife Rob Zombie? She's not very good, I've got to say it. She's alright here, but she's not a very good actress. The Devil's Rejects is Rob Zombie's best film. I don't think he's really done anything since that's come close to it, and I think we all know he was not the right person to remake Halloween. The less said about that, the better. He's become pretty hit and miss since, but this one did prove he had something to offer that was a lot more violent and daring than other filmmakers were doing at the time. And it was of course great to see his unapologetic appreciation for 70s cinema all over the screen. And like I mentioned, there are actually some interesting themes going on amongst the carnage, as the film challenges us to reflect on our own beliefs about morality, family and the human psyche. So let me know what you think of The Devil's Rejects in the comments below. Click on my review of House of a Thousand Corpses that I did a little while back on the screen now. Subscribe if you enjoyed and you love discussions on cult and classic films, and I will see you guys in the next video.